Hey there, YouTube land. Today I'm going to show you guys how I clean a cast iron skillet. As you can see, I have just gotten, I've cooked in this one. I cooked some sausage earlier today. If you're wondering what this one is, it is a number 5 Wagner skillet with a heat ring. This one was made sometime between 1924 and 1935, according to my research. I picked this up last week at Blacksmith Antiques in Coila, New York. It's a little town outside of where I live. And I seasoned it up yesterday, or last night. Came out great, and so I'm going to show you guys how I clean them. Now, if you're wondering, no, I do not use soap on these. I just never have. That's a whole big debate in the cast iron community. I'm not going to get into that in this video. All I do is I just turn on the water. Now, one thing you want to know, if you're cleaning a warm or hot skillet, make sure the water is also warm or hot. If you're cleaning a cold skillet, use cold water, just so that way you don't shock your skillet. So all I'll do is just pour some water in there and kind of rinse out some of the stuff. Okay? Very simple. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a brush, or you can buy a pan scraper. It's made out of plastic for this, or you can actually use an expired gift card or a credit card, debit card, whatever. But for the stuck on stuff, I'll just put a little bit of water and I'll kind of just scrub around with the brush. Sometimes when you cook sausages, you get some of the fat that gets very stubborn. So we're just gonna do that. Water's a little warm. Warm water's okay for a cold skillet, just don't use hot water. There we go. So we'll just keep scrubbing it. And once we get our alright, that looks pretty good. Just do one more. Whoops. Sorry guys, water's getting everywhere. A little bit of stubborn stuff in there. Sometimes you have to use a little more force. There we go. Okay, and then what I like to do is, if you'll excuse me 1 second, I get a towel, and I like to hand dry it off as much as I can. So now we got that all hand dried. So then what I also like to do with a lot of my pieces is I bring them over to the stove, and I'm going to turn the stove on. Put it at about medium heat. You don't really want to go above medium heat, medium high for a cast iron, because if you leave it on too high of a heat for too long, you risk warping it. Let me just fix the camera here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Oops. And now we just let the skillet warm up. Now what this does is it helps ensure that your skillet is completely dried out and that there's no moisture left over, because if you leave moisture on a cast iron skillet, it will rust, and then you'll have to remove the rust and re-season your skillet all over, and you don't want to do that when you spent enough time seasoning it the first time. So this will help prevent that from happening. So I'm just going to let this heat up, and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, now that our skillet's warmed up a bit, I'm going to shut the stove off, and what I'm going to do is I'm using these Scott blue shop towels. I like to use these for seasoning and wiping my cast irons down with oil because they're lint free. Now you don't have to use the whole thing. A lot of times I'll just rip off a strip because I don't need much. And I'm going to be using this flaxseed oil. You don't have to use flaxseed oil. I've used Crisco a lot. I don't have any Crisco at this time, and my stepdad picked up this flaxseed oil to use for these cast irons. So what I'm going to do is just pour a small amount, and you don't need much. With oil on cast iron, less is more. So just like that, that's all you really need. And I'm going to wipe a coat of the oil into my skillet, making sure I get every part of the skillet. Inside, outside, the handle, all of it. Make sure we get the back of the handle. And that's it. Now all you do is just let your skillet cool off, put it on a cool burner. I'm just going to wipe a little bit more. There we are. And that is how I clean my cast iron cookware. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe.